What would you deliver to your customers if you had amazing security that was virtually invisible to the customer? What new products and services could you offer? Encap Security provides the best way to secure access to applications and services using any platform, PC, mobile, or tablet. Our patented multi-factor authentication technology enables any smart device to be used as a transparent banking-grade ID credential. Steve Jobs once said that simple is harder than complex, and this is something we at Encap have taken to heart as a key principle in our smarter authentication solution that we are about to demonstrate. What you will soon see is a security solution that challenges the old adage that security equals pain, and instead allows security to become an enabling mechanism for offering innovative and differentiated products and services. My name is Adam Dolby, and I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Encap Security, and with me on the keyboard today is David Nays, our Director of Sales. Welcome to our demo. Being a solution component, the vehicle for our demo is a typical retail bank, West Springfield Bank. Dave is already a customer of West Springfield Bank and is logging into his online account with his existing username and password. You can also see a reflection of his smart device on his screen. West Springfield has implemented smarter authentication and has embedded Encap's in-app SDK as part of their mobile banking app. This enables seamless provisioning from the bank's perspective, as you're about to see, and lets Dave turn his smart device into a banking-grade ID credential in a matter of seconds. In this case, Dave has just downloaded the mobile banking app from the App Store, enters the device pairing code that's presented through the online banking interface, chooses his PIN code, and gives the device a recognizable name. And in that brief amount of time, Dave has made his banking life both more simple and much more secure. Notice once Dave has paired his device, he arrives at a spot where he can manage his devices bound to his identity. Let's assume that Dave and his wife share the login credential to this account. Of course, smarter authentication means that you can accommodate householding by allowing Dave to provision his wife's iPod to their credential. And let's face it, if that weren't the case, this would make for a really awkward part of the demonstration. While Dave is pairing his second device, I also want to mention one aspect of smarter authentication that is occurring behind the scenes. Any Encap customer can take advantage of an additional layer in the defense of Dave, keystroke analysis. This feature studies how Dave enters his PIN and analyzes the flight time and the amount of time that he depresses each number. This information can then be used as an additional data point in determining the overall risk of Dave's particular activity at any time. Now that Dave has paired his wife's iPod, you'll notice that it has a small warning sign where it is listed. This is an indication that the Smarter Authentication Risk Monitor has detected an anomaly. In this case, that the device is jailbroken. But this could also be because we've detected malware, a tampering attempt, or anything else the bank has deemed risky. Smarter Authentication can then decision on this information, as we're doing in this demo, or we can feed that information to the bank's existing risk engine. Now let's assume that Dave has gone to work when he realizes he needs to make a few transfers before he starts his day. What you won't see now are complex password requirements, personal verification questions, SMS codes, app switching, or other painful security measures that have existed for years. Dave's entire login experience has been simplified while being strengthened and kept within the confines of the bank brand. Dave simply entered his credential, selects which of his devices he wants to receive a push notification to, enters the PIN that he selected when pairing his device, and he is logged in easier and safer than ever. Now Dave's ready to make the payment. You'll notice when he is selecting which device to use for authenticating that he cannot select his wife's jailbroken iPod. This is because the bank has deemed this activity too risky. After selecting his iPhone, he sees his transaction context presented to his iPhone and approves the payment. His context is then verified back to the Encap server, which is at the bank, and Dave has yet again been kept safe with a process he sees as very, very simple. You can also see that since his app was open, he didn't even see an alert come in. His app was simply awakened and presented him with the context of his activity. In addition to providing better security, the risk monitor can also be used to provide greater convenience for Dave. In this scenario, Dave's going to be making a low-value payment, and this time, the bank has looked at the risk of the transaction and decided that device authentication is sufficient enough security. Device authentication means that Dave isn't even going to be prompted to enter his PIN code, but rather simply taps approve. This shows how Encap provides risk-based adaptability to optimize both security and the user experience. Because of Encap's unique architecture, smarter authentication provides continuity across all channels, devices, and methods of access. When Dave wants to log into his mobile banking app, he'll see a process that is now very familiar. What Dave wouldn't know is that once again, the complex has been made very simple. Dave's mobile banking session is actually being originally requested through the normal HTML stream, but that prompt that he saw for his PIN code was actually requested by push notification, just like when his app was simply opened and presented him with transaction context. Because we're conducting the authentication in this way, even though the entire interaction is on the mobile device, we're still conducting an out-of-band, out-of-channel authentication for mobile. And to illustrate this point, watch as Dave simulates a rogue login attempt from another device. The iPad does not receive the PIN prompt, but rather Dave's iPhone does, and he can simply reject that access attempt. Smarter authentication also means the West Springfield Bank can utilize the solution in other areas that cause the bank pain. As you can see here, Dave is being presented with an alert to confirm the purchase of a watch. In this scenario, we can view authentication in a few ways, including to have Dave confirm intent, or simply giving him a chance to say no to the transaction. This concept could very cleanly address card-not-present fraud in the event that the U.S. finally migrates to EMV. Other use cases for leveraging smarter authentication are for confirming profile or password changes, authenticating Dave to the call center, or even at the teller window. As you can see, smarter authentication allows any financial institution to consider how to protect their customers across all channels, driving service adoption and fostering innovation, not simply because it provides amazing security, but also because it is simple to use. Thank you.